So, welcome everyone to yet another session on our ongoing series, Own In, Be It. And today we are really blessed, and it's a great privilege to have Shankar Kumaran with us, who comes from the Traditional Gurukulam Education, which is a 6-year residential Sanskrit medium intense ancient learning system. He got introduced to various ancient Indian wisdom like Vedas, Upanishads, Yoga Sutra, Tarka Shastra, etc. Besides his Gurukulam education, he has also completed his Bachelors and Masters in Yogic Science, along with Masters in Sanskrit. Being in academia for more than 9 years, he has taught thousands of engineering students and business students life education and yoga philosophy. He has organized and mentored hundreds of camps and workshops for a diverse audience like students, adults, working professionals, married couples, etc. As an acclaimed life education coach and yoga psychologist, Shankar has trained more than 8,000 people in the past 12 years. That's an incredible achievement. With his vast teaching experience and interactions with thousands of youngsters, he has developed and perfected the Neo Grihastha model, helping hundreds of people make their life happier and their family life happier. Being a part of a joint family, he wears multiple hats: family man, yoga psychologist, minimalist, spiritualist, counselor, YouTuber, organic farmer, teacher, and an all-time student. So welcome, Shankar, and it's a privilege to have you with us today. So thank you for being here. So let's start at the very start. So what led you to the Gurukulam system of education, whereas there are lots of us, including me, who went through the typical traditional, like the schools that we have, not the kind of Gurukul education system. So what led you to the Gurukul system of education?
In the simple terms, my dad. So 20 years ago, around 20 years ago, the small Shankar, the young Shankar was not at all interested. He was not aware of all these things in the first place. So my father was very much interested, and he checked about this website, and he came to know about the Gurukul, and then he asked me to, give it a try. So that's how the move of Gurukul happened in my life. It was not at all planned. So I was thinking of getting into marine engineering, and we even blocked the seat in an university then, around 2002 or something. So it was all planned, but suddenly when this Gurukul thing came up from one of my father's friend, we thought of checking it out. That's how the entire thing happened. And initially I was not very happy because I was planned to do something where I'll be, off the land and I'll be doing something in the ocean. So it was very exciting, new thing for a 12th grade student to think of future. But when the Gurukul thing came up, initially I was not at all interested because I had no idea. And when I asked a few questions, what will I do after completing Gurukul, even my father had no idea. So even my father was not aware of the future of the Gurukul, what happens after studying there. He was just interested in such a knowledge. So he was just thinking of, joining me there. So it was purely my father's decision, and now it is my father's blessing. That's what I take it now.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's incredible because, and let me ask you, this is for my own knowledge. How many students were there when you were in this Gurukul system of education? Were there lots of students?
Yeah, that's a good one because I was expecting Gurukul, it's like a college, but in a different name. But when I entered there, it was a big shock. The entire capacity of the Gurukul was 60.
Wow. Wow. So that's really
batch,
small.
Years of the batch. Yeah, in every batch they used to have 9 to 10 people in the Gurukul. So it was, you can't bunk a class, right? Just once view, they will know who is absent.
Yeah.
And it's a very small team of 60. So everybody knows everybody, and nobody can hide anywhere, no escape, nothing. Right. It was very, very small team. And even today the Gurukul is of, they only select 10 to 15 people a year.
Well, you're the first person from whom I've heard this because this is always our concept. Like I feel like it's there, but we don't have it. I didn't know that we have it. I mean, it's quite
even the structure, the buildings,
Mm.
Everything used to be like the ancient time. So I really felt I am in some obsolete place where I never thought that such things exist in reality. I was always
Yeah,
thinking that these all are gone. So
yeah.
no Sanskrit background, no Gurukul pre knowledge of the scriptures or anything. So with a blank slate, I entered there, and on the very first day, it was a big shock. There were 40 people applying for 10 seats, and all were excellent in their own different education, 10th standard, 12th standard, PUC, from different background of different parts of the country. And there were my father was a little doubtful whether I will get a seat there or not, because I was an average student. I was getting around 63, 65 percentage in my schoolings, and there was one guy who was also coming from Tamil Nadu. So this Gurukul is in Bangalore, so it's
Mm.
in the other state. So when we went there, and my father inquired about one person who also came from Tamil Nadu, when he told his score that he is 95 percentage from ICSE board. So my father decided that I'm not going to get there, because it's all heavy competition will be there. But luckily, still I don't know how exactly it happened, but it's all destiny. So
Yeah,
I got it.
and what a journey! What an incredibly fascinating journey you have had. So tell me, Sanskrit. Is this Sanskrit as a language? Did you study it in school, or was Gurukul the only place where you started studying Sanskrit?
I studied in matriculation fifth standard, and then I moved to a state board, and I had no Hindi or no Sanskrit till my 10th standard. And in my 11th and 12th, the last 2 years, I took Sanskrit just to score more marks,
Mm.
because the syllabus for 11th standard Sanskrit was Sanskrit alphabets. So it was not to be considered as I learned the language, because I was writing all the answers in English and only the questions were in Sanskrit. And also the pre-knowledge was alphabets. Alphabets was the only thing which we mugged up. So it
Mm.
was almost nil. When I entered into the Gurukul, I had almost zero knowledge of Sanskrit, literally.
And now, when you look back, because you've studied the shastras, you've studied yoga shastra, you've studied various other shastras that exist within in the system. Now, when you look back, do you feel this knowledge of Sanskrit, because you're also trained in Sanskrit? And if you did not have this training in Sanskrit, do you feel you could have understood the essence of the shastras better or worse, or how? What is your take on this?
Um, Sanskrit plays definitely a vital role. Without the proper language knowledge, understanding the essence or the beauty is tough. But I don't say it is impossible. When there is grace, and when there is effort, and when there is prarabdha karma, that you have some baggage of knowledge from your previous lives, then definitely there is a possibility to take off, if your intention is the application oriented knowledge. If you get the right guide, and if you get the right environment, you can do it without Sanskrit. But definitely with the Sanskrit, the joy will be more. You will
Mm.
enjoy, you will have that aha moment in
Mm.
every phrase, when you read, when you remember. It will not be like alien. There are so many people today, unfortunately, do so many chantings, but they don't know the meaning of it. So when the meaning and the chanting comes together, then the burden and the heaviness of chanting, and the mind, the thoughts, can also connect with action. So the beauty is
Mm.
more deeper.
Mm. Yeah, and also the vibration, is it? It's pretty much like the way
Definitely,
that's very important, right? It plays a crucial role.
definitely.
So I read that, now correct me if I'm wrong, I have read that you have a mission of helping a certain number of individuals on this planet. Now, I cannot remember the number on top of my head, so I would be really grateful if you could tell me the number, and where did this mission, like statement of yours, come from? How did it come about?
So the number is 1 lakh. So
Okay.
my mission is to help, or influence or reach 1 lakh couples in the next 3 4 years, to lead a sustainable, happy married life. So this is my mission, and I'm not the guy who keep a mission and chase it. But I'm a spontaneous person. I was spontaneous person till last year, and I understood when there is a mission, the speed and the execution makes more beauty, and also the focus makes a very big difference in execution. So that's when I thought, I should step in and I should do the mission statement and set up everything. The thought of working on marriage and family design came in my mind in the year 2006 or 7 when I was in Gurukul, when I was learning Upanishad class from one of my main acharya, the Pradhan Acharya, Ramchandra Bhatt Kotemane. He's the founder of the Gurukul. In one of his session, when he was talking about the philosophy, the Vedanta, and he was making a statement, we should make Vedanta to the doorsteps. The world is not even knowing that they are in need of this practical Vedanta. So it is our duty to take the knowledge to the doorstep so that they can get benefit out of it. So the knowledge should reach the people, not that they come to us when they realize that they want it. So that really stuck me. And when I was thinking, whom should I target then? Whom should I address? It's like, vast ocean. There are all categories, all walks of life people. And after so much of brainstorming, I thought family is one thing. By changing or by addressing, we can solve so many problems. It's like, a butterfly effect will happen, and by working on family system, we can change the society at large. So it's a year around, 15 years ago, maybe.
Wow. And what exactly, because I know that you also come from a joint family. So what exactly about the family, that aspect of family that you want to target through your work and you want to influence or have an impact on through your work?
So basically, I don't want to have a certain design and want to impose the design or say that this is the best design and everyone should follow it. With so many interactions and with so many sessions, I understood one thing, that everybody are unique, and everybody's culture, everybody's background, everybody's expectations, everybody's prejudice, everything is unique. So we can't impose a centralized design. And also the very India's identity is uniqueness, whether it is food or dress or culture or language, whatever you take, we give freedom. We give freedom in execution and planning and design. So I felt when I want to work on this family design, even there I should follow the ancient plan where they gave freedom. They gave a decentralized approach with a few fundamental approach which can't be compromised. So yes, I am from a joint family. There are 10 people in my house: me, my wife, my father, my mother, my brother, my brother's wife, my father's mother, my two children, and my brother's daughter. So we are 10 in same house, one kitchen. We all cook and eat together, and it's the beautiful experience, I tell you. But I can't expect everybody to live the same thing when the world is, moving around in a rapid speed. So I prefer joint family, because joint family helps in multiple levels, in psychological, social, spiritual, and physical, emotional. So many concepts are embedded in a joint family system. But I don't impose, because it's not possible for everyone to try for it.
Have that big family, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now you have reached a mark of like 8,000 people like that haven't had an impact through your work, through the work that you're doing. So the work that you do, it goes through workshops, you conduct classes, you give lectures, you're a guest lecturer and stuff. So what aspect of your work is very, very dear to you? Like, which is the one that you feel has the maximum impact onto people who come and listen to you?
The thing is, I don't have one thing which I want to share to everybody. So till now, what I was doing is I address people from where they are. So when I was teaching college students, I was teaching what they require in their particular segment. And when I was teaching, married couples, their attention and the focus will be completely customized to them. So it was not like I was creating a module and that module I was teaching for 8,000 people. Till now, before starting Mile, the life education hub, before starting this, my approach was completely versatile. I was focusing on patience, I was focusing on time, I was focusing on attention, concentration, awareness, and I was focusing on the experience, so many things. But I was focusing on life. So in general, if I want to put everything into one line, then I would say, let there be any problem outside, but if you work within yourself and if you know how to handle yourself, you can definitely change the situation outside. It can be with people or with nature. You can change outside by changing inside. So in one or the other way, I can put that this is my say, but
Yeah,
nothing my
that's
say, right?
no,
Parents will.
this is beautiful, and this is the essence, because every philosopher, every so-called spiritualist, or however you want to label them, has said the same thing, that you change the outside by changing you from the inside. So it's the inside that that reflects on the outside, and it's very difficult for people to understand that, because you see things outside. And so in your experience, now I know that whatever little work that we all do, I understand that not every day is a happy day, and everybody's going to be very receptive of what you have to say. So in your experience, how difficult has it been for you, for your journey up until this point?
Let me say three things, okay? So first thing was, I am from a Tamil Nadu background. I don't know any other language other than Tamil, and I know little bit of English. That too, I can write English, but I can't speak in English because I was studying in an English school, but English medium school where the English teacher teaches English in Tamil.
Okay.
So I never had an opportunity to communicate in English. So that's how. That's when I moved to Gurukul. It's in Bangalore. The entire Gurukul speaks Sanskrit from the day one when I entered into the Gurukul, and 8 out of my batch. We are 10 in our batch, and 8 out of us can speak Kannada. They are from Karnataka. So 2 of us are from Tamil Nadu. So all the 8 people, whenever they have a doubt, they ask in Kannada. And my other friend, who is also from Tamil Nadu, knows Sanskritam before coming there. So he communicates in Sanskrit. So I was the one who left out. I can't communicate in Sanskrit. I can't understand anything in Kannada. I don't even know to differentiate Kannada and Sanskrit. And Hindi ruled out, and English I had never spoken in my life. So it was horrible. So that was the first problem happened in my life where I faced as a solid problem of survival. And it may look silly today, but then it was like hell. I had so many moments where I was crying about my life that it's all ruined. I am in an alien place where I can't even speak, I can't even ask water, so I'm doomed. But later on, the system changed, and I got a moment where my acharya called me and told, "You like India, you like to serve the country, then why can't you see Sanskrit as Bharat Mata's language?" And this statement really pulled me in. And if that is true, then why can't I learn Sanskrit? Then let me learn. So that's how the motivation happened. And then I thought, then all the languages in the country is also Bharat Mata's language. So why not I learn all the language? Then I started learning, and today I know some 6, 7 languages. But that one statement was big, mind opening for me. The second problem which happened was, okay, so I got stuck somewhere. So let me get to the third one. Okay, the third one was, I had a very clear vision that I should not marry from my third standard. Somehow I had this deep desire that unmarrieds are happy, therefore I should not marry. Because I have seen so many unmarried people, those who are serving the society when I was a child, and they all were happy. They were bindas, no responsibility. They were doing what they want, and there was nobody to question them as per my little few minutes of interaction with them. So I decided all the marrieds are one day happy, one day unhappy. They fight, and they fight so naturally as if they are Ravana and Sita, and the other day they are so close. They love each other like they are Sita and Rama. And I didn't get it. I thought they are acting when they were fighting, but I felt they are fighting from their heart. The words, the memory is pulling all the strings from different incidents. Then I thought maybe the love was fake, but later I even realized the love was also real. Then one thing I understood, I should not live this life, because when the people, those who are fighting, they feel bad for their marriage, and when they feel happy for marriage. And I don't want that uncertainty. I don't want to be happy one day and unhappy one day, and knowingly I don't want to marry somebody with whom I am going to be happy and unhappy in different time. And the most unfortunate thing is, they too don't know when they will be unhappy and happy. So they'll be fully ready for travel, and last second something happens and quarrel happens, the plan changes, they'll fight and they'll cry. So this was so deep in my heart. I witnessed so many families. I'm sure many people or everybody agree to this. I have never seen a completely happy, all-time happy couple
Yeah.
till I was 20, 25. Till I was 20, 25, 23. Till I was 23, I never seen a completely happy couple, made for each other kind of a heavenly happy
Mm.
couple. So I thought this all fake, so I should not marry at all. But in Gurukul, when they were talking about life and they were talking about mind in yoga psychology, in Yoga Sutra, I understood a very beautiful thing. I understood marriage is not the problem. The way people understand marriage and live the married life is the problem.
Mm.
So this really blew my mind, because till then I was thinking marriage is the problem. Then I understood the marrieds are the problem, not the marriage. So then I started go through different scriptures and many stories from Puranas and Itihasas, where literally changed my entire perspective. So what a beautiful couple should be, an ideal beautiful husband and wife should be, etc. And then I understood, yes, so I should marry. So that's when I took a very strong call that I should marry, and I married. And within 1 month, I had a deep hope that once I get married, I am going to be the happiest person ever, and I'm going to show the world how a happy person should be, how a happy couple should be. I will live and I will show the world that it is not
Give the
impossible.
example. Yeah, be the example one. Yeah, for everybody.
I didn't realize that it is an egoistic statement then.
Uh,
From my heart I believed that "Arey yaar, how can you miss this such a big truth, let me prove it." So that was my thought. And I tell you, more than 5 years I was teaching yoga psychology to my engineering college students. And whenever the marriage thing comes up, whenever the thought of love topic comes up, I used to make so blunt and bold statements that if you have the guts, then you can change the world out. It doesn't need XYZ quality life partner to you. Any life partner comes to you, if you know how to handle you, then you can lead a happy married life. So this was a statement which I used to lavishly use to motivate them to but when I got married, I tell you, it's a big story. Just getting into the point, after marriage, within 1 month, in my honeymoon, we had a fight. I tell you, Tapashri, this is ultimate fight. Huh? My whole life, I never thought I will fight. Whereas within 1 month, I had a fight, and that fight was so horrible. In my honeymoon, in Alapi boat, inside the boathouse, in the boat, we had a fight. And the first thought came to my mind is, within 1 month, I failed. My entire future is doomed. My whole plan for future, because I thought of living a role model life and to impress people and to teach people, and I literally shattered into pieces, and I was crying. And even my wife didn't understand why I was crying. So then she came down and she was asking, "What happened? Okay, sorry, what happened?" And I was not in a mood to even convey her that I am crying for such a reason, because that was not the time even to, because I couldn't even speak. I still remember. I literally I sat down on the floor and I was sitting with the closed eyes and I was crying like a baby. I never thought that I will speak and laugh on that moment now, but then it was
yeah.
like the
Oh, it's
sky.
life shattering moment for you.
Yeah. And
Uh,
yeah, I remember the second one. The second one was, I couldn't communicate to people. I couldn't share what I want to say. So I couldn't convey what I want to say. So that was the biggest hurdle for me. With whom I lived for 6 years in the Gurukul, with all my batchmates, I couldn't understand them. I couldn't understand what they like, what they don't like. I don't know how to communicate. So that was also one more reason where I felt so bad, and I had a very tough time in learning communication, how to understand people, how to talk, how to convey, how to understand, how to analyze people.
yeah.
So these three things literally made me a man.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful journey. That's quite nice. So now would you use this statement lavishly, the one that you used, or
Yes,
you would change?
I
You would,
use, definitely I use lavishly, but I use consciously also.
okay, okay,
For moving away from this
yeah,
topic, I would like to tell one thing. Um, because of that fall, because of that fight, I
yeah,
made I made the conviction more strong, and I kept the goal even far away from my reach because I understood how tough it is, and I started analyzing and experimenting and experiencing and observing me and my partner more closely, and I started observing the different scriptures on connecting how exactly, what exactly playing what, etc. And I tell you one thing, I am not here to again do the same mistake saying that I am the best husband of the world or the best couple, we are the best. No, definitely no. But one thing I can guaranteely say, that I am far away from that old Shankar,
yeah,
the one who was fighting, the one who couldn't understand, the one who was expecting
yeah,
everything. Because
yeah,
I always say this: the relationship definitely will have some, ifs and buts. There will be some power cuts happen, but the problem is not the power cut. The problem is how quick the UPS works.
mm,
So there are people those whose relationship gets into power cut, and for days it will not come back to normalcy, right? So there will be a cold war happening in kitchen, in dining table, in buys and highs. So they will have that hesitation somewhere. They know that they are not normal back. So how far that comes back to normal,
mm,
whether it is 4 days or whether it is 4 seconds or 4 minutes.
mm,
So I am working on it, and definitely yes, still power cut happens, but by divine's grace and by my wife's support and my effort, definitely the power cuts are happening, but the backup is happening so
backup,
fast, so fast,
yeah, yeah.
so fast.
And that's very important, because that's very well put, because what you're talking about is this phenomena of like falling and then getting back again, right? And most people fall, but they really find it very hard to get back again, and and then continue. And this you're talking about the reducing the time and taking in, and falling and getting back, because the minimum you have, the better you're going to perform, because you have already learned it and stuff. So here is a very tricky question. Might be tricky, might not be tricky for you, but I'll ask, which is the healing. So in this fall and getting up, what time do you give to the healing? If it's like a hurt or something that's come up in a fight, which is kind of really hurt you from inside. So how long does the healing process take, or how do you deal with
um, I don't want to generalize the solution whichever I'm going to give. Okay, so
it?
it's
Yeah,
customizable, and
yeah,
it should be customized because
yeah.
we all are
Of
unique.
course, yeah, yeah,
So what I feel personally is, we should not give healing time for each and every issue. Sometimes the healing time will create more distance,
mm,
and if the partner is understandable, if the partner knows logics and reason, there is something called as Tarka Shastra, right? So when a person can understand A is equal to B and B is equal to C, therefore A is equal to C, if a person can understand this in a easy way, then that mind is having logics. So wherever the logic works, then we can no need to give time for healing. We can sit and we can explain and we can surrender and we can analyze as if we both are a third person, and we can see what exactly happened, where exactly we missed, who exactly left the track, and how natural it is, and what we need to do further in the future to safeguard the situation to not happen like this, blah blah blah. If the other person, or if the person who is trying to patch up is not having this kind of an analytical approach, then definitely what you said is right. There should be only one thing, that is time, and only time can bring back the
yeah,
flow. The healing thing only takes time, because our emotions all are like passing clouds. It can't stay. It can be lust, or it can be love, or it can be hate, or it can be jealousy, it can be compassion. Even compassion, every emotion is a passing cloud, so it can't stay for a long time in us. There will be a basic nature, and that basic nature is I. Because hunger comes and reminds us in 3 hours, I am existing, I want, I want, I want. So we will come back to our selfishness. So any thoughts or any emotions comes to us, it can't stay for a long time, and since it can't stay for a long time, healing will make us normal, and then it will be easy for anybody to patch up.
No, that's well put. Because that's very important. Because people say in relationships, you got to give yourself time, and because that's a bigger aspect of the so-called popular way of identifying and understanding relations. It's like you need to give yourself time to heal and to get over it. And you have all these hundreds of quotes that floating around, which read well. I mean, I don't know who they apply to, but I just had this question that like
What people think is, if they give them some time, the problem will get solved by itself, they think. And both think, if I give some time, he will change, she will change, and both will stay the same. And both will forget in the healing time. They don't patch up, they don't understand the origin of the problem, they don't accept their mistakes, they just forget the mistake. So what happens, after few days they may patch up back and they think that the healing time worked, but later on, in the second time when they get into a fight, they remember the first time incident, why, what, everything in their own stand, and they make the complication more ugly.
it gets convoluted and gets mixed up with a lot of things.
Exactly. So time can't help you, time can only soften you. You're getting me, right?
Yeah.
So that the intensity of argument, the intensity of debate will reduce, but not the logics behind which created the confusion. So that logic should be addressed only logically.
So this brings me, So no, sorry to cut you out, but this brings me to a very interesting aspect. I'm going to come to my earlier question later on. So let me probe you a bit on relationships here, because what you're talking about is two people in a relationship, and so it's pretty much like the other person also has to understand or have some level of understanding, of what is going on. Now, how do you judge that, or like how do you perceive that in a relationship? Because it could very well be that you're in a relationship with someone who's completely diametrically opposite to how you are, and not understand or appreciate your line of thinking, but you're in a relation. So what kind of, so the problems then become different, or how does it work then?
That is where the sutra which I told works. The formula of, if you want to change anything outside, if you work within yourself, and if you try to change yourself, and if you know the frequency of you, then you can change the world outside. That really applies here, because at the end of the day, whether the partner is intellectual or emotional, whatever you call that person is, the problem may be created by the partner or by you, whatever it may be the origin is. If your intention is clear that you want to live with that person, and you think that person is not another person but yourself, then definitely losing in front of that person, or even taking the blame of the problem, makes no difference. There is a very beautiful statement, like, if I bite my tongue, I never even get a thought of breaking my teeth. Hey, you are the culprit, because of you I am bleeding today. No, I accept, I don't even first blame the teeth, because I am the teeth, right? So when this thought of oneness happens, there is no point of blaming or finding the target, who is the reason, who is the culprit. So when, that is why the mile program which I started, the first course which I kept as a flagship program is not about partner, understanding, intimacy, love, trust, nothing. Not even love is the first dimension. The first dimension which a person should understand who is going to get married or got married is why marriage is in there in this world in the first place. We need to first understand the purpose of marriage. When the purpose is clear, why I married, then comes the all other things naturally. Then the surrender, accept, okay, sorry, all these things doesn't make sense when you have that knowledge, because it happens by itself. Today what happens is, people don't talk about marriage, people don't talk why marriage, people don't talk why family, but they say, give some time, leave it for 2 hours, share with your partner, go for a counseling, have you said sorry, have you you take care of the dishes. It's all mechanical, it's all physical. The physical things doesn't solve the psychological conflicts which is already happening or happened. So for that, you need to address it, or you need to have the bigger picture of life, which is the base as the marriage or family. When the bigger things are clear, then these things will become so silly.
Mm. Yeah, that's beautifully put. That's another way of looking at it. If you really find it difficult to understand the nitty gritty of it, then you look at the big picture and you make your way through it. But here is also this aspect of psychology, and like and given the times that we are in, psychology seems to be like the mind and the way people understand it sort of seems to have taken a completely different toll on people. We have rising cases of depression, which we have never seen before, or maybe we are just aware of the statistics of it now. And people have so many different mental health issues, and mental health suddenly has taken a priority. It should always be a priority, but it suddenly is like you have every other person complaining about mental health. But then the understanding of why it is being caused or what is leading to this, discrepancy is very limited, or maybe it's not very clear. And people are hunting from psychiatrists around and talking to counselors around. So, what's your opinion on this whole problem that we are kind of going round and round in circles and getting on medication straight away, which sometimes help, sometimes don't help? I mean, what is your take on this?
Okay. So, Taposhri, if you have a problem and you have a very close friend who loves you and you value that friend and that friend also values you, will you like to share your problem to your friend or to a stranger?
To my friend, if I had to.
No. No, if you trust the friend, friend is someone whom we trust, right?
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah.
So today we don't have a friendship in our life. We don't see our parents as our friends. There is a very beautiful statement. Prapte shodashe varshe putram mitravadacharet. When your son or daughter reaches shodashe, 16 year, you should treat your children as your friend. Mitravadacharet. So therefore, when a child is 16, and 16 then was the age where the adult issues will pop up. But today we have, we are running so fast that recently in Chicago, Supreme Court announced that in 5th grade schools in America, they should provide free condoms, right?
Yes.
So it's a government rule. So to be frank, today if we want to write, then we need to change the entire numbers. When your child reaches 5 years or 10 years, you should consider your friend. And there is another statement in marriage when the Saptapadi, the 7 steps they take after marriage. The 7th step mantra is called Sakha Saptapadi Bhava. When you reach the 7th step, the husband and wife both will tell this as a pledge that may you be my friend. Sakha Saptapadi Bhava. So the friendship is something which is the fundamental of everything. That is why the Vishwamitra concept also came. I am the world's friend. So therefore, the friendship is one thing where the ego will not exist, the differences doesn't come up, the richness, anything you won't pop up there. There you see the other person as equal. Unfortunately, today among parents, husband and wife, that equalness is gone. Parents and children, that equalness is gone. And even for teacher and student, that equalness was maintained. In Gurukul system, you will be surprised. We used to, our Acharya's room will be locked. We used to jump the room and get into his room and open his almirah and we eat sweets. And we used to jump back and come. And he knows, who exactly steals. And intentionally he will keep, every time sweet in the same place. And he will not lock the almirah. And we also know he knows, and he also knows who did. But still, he will lock the door just for fun, and we will steal just for fun. We will sleep in the same corridor.
That's like a trust, thing, dynamics that you have, that and that friendship comes from that trust. But I don't think we have it now.
Exactly, because we don't have that kind of a friendship with any relationship. And I am not meaning, that cheers and the birthday cake, cheese, selfie, group selfie friendship. That is not friendship. Friendship is something which can't be in a big number. It can be only personal. There can be 100 people friends to you, but you will have an individual relationship with everyone. Only if it is individual, it is friendship. And those days, in all relationship they had, they saw the world as a friend. There is a very beautiful song. Suprabhatam Bhagavataha. This was a song. Moment a child gets out of bed in Gurukul, they used to sing this song, Seeing the Sky. Suprabhatam, good morning.
Yeah, good
Bhagavataha.
morning. Yeah.
Hey God, good morning.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the first line of the song. So
Yeah.
they had the very attitude of life towards the entire world with the friendship attitude.
Yeah.
And when they had this attitude, there is no point of definitely problems will come to everybody's life. I'm not saying
Of
when you have
course.
this attitude, problems will be there. Depression, stress, anxiety, pressure, everything will pop up. But you will have your own, healing mechanism. In one or the other way, you will have so many people to, reduce it. But unfortunately, today we are becoming more individualistic
Mm.
and no friendship. That's what I think.
Mm. And do you see this as a problem for this mental health issue then, because we are kind of getting isolated, more like selfishness is coming in?
Yes, without doubt.
Yeah.
And but generally putting selfishness, I don't agree, because you need to blame someone specifically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Only when you target a person, then that the origin of the problem will be can be solved. So selfishness is a quality, you can't target it.
Yeah.
So I target the parents and teachers.
Yeah.
And parents I can target with the authenticity, but teachers I can't target because they don't have power. The government controls them to not beat. The management decides what they should teach. So therefore, the teachers are helpless people. So let them go away. But parents are to be blamed. In ancient Indian design, we never gave an idea called I. My mother used to say, in my mother's house there were 13 children. In one house, joint family, all people's children put together 13. Only the children's count. And all 13 will get same food every day. And for Diwali or Pongal or Sankranti, they get color dress, new dress, right? So they won't get a dress, they get cloth in meters, and tailor will come and measure.
Yeah.
Above 7th standard full pant, below 7th standard half pant. And if it's a uniform, Diwali uniform,
Yeah.
Sankranti uniform. So they never get the thought of I. Today what happens, I was shocked. One of my relative was telling this story. His son is studying 3rd standard, and the son forgot water bottle in home. To be literally clear, mother forgot to keep the water bottle in the child's food bag. The child went to school. Husband and wife both took leave from their office, and they both drove 40 kilometers to the school to give a water bottle. And when they told this, I got, how could you do this? Can't the school provide a glass of water? Then the father told me, no, Shankar, that is not the point. Last week we already missed putting the water bottle in the bag. And evening he came without touching the food a single morsel. And when I asked why you didn't eat, he said, already when I was doing my 1st standard, one time you forgot keeping water bottle. This is 2nd time, I didn't eat. If at all 3rd time you miss giving me water bottle, you will see the consequence. This was exactly the statement told by a 3rd standard child to a father and mother in Bangalore.
Wow.
And parents are literally afraid. I tell you, parents are literally afraid to see the consequence. I will tell you one more story. This is not from a city, but from a village where the child was doing some mistakes and parents were beating. And the child literally kept a hand like this and told, if next time if you try to teach me something, I will bite my hand. And they never thought what this is. So they went on scolding, and that moment the child started biting her own hand. The child was 6-year-old then. And when the child was beating, all the people in the family were shell shocked, and they were coming and helping the child to move, but the child was not leaving. The child was beating her own hand. The child knew at the age of 6 that all these people's weak point is me. So I know how to move all these toys. Now, where are we moving then?
Where are we getting this from?
Attention, over patting, over love, expression of love. Even the ancestors were loving their children, but they were not showcasing their love, hugging, kissing, sharing their love, expressing the love. And today we forgot the gap between love and respect. We thought respect is equal to love. Therefore, I give love, and then also it's same. But the child also do the same thing. I give love, I will not respect you, because both are same. And when this happens, the entire relationship becomes more self-centered. They get a separate room, they get a separate safe for everything. What color car the child will decide, what color wall paint the child will decide. So obviously from the day one, the child is thinking, I am the center of attraction, I decide everything, so I am the boss. I recently saw one Insta reel. There was a dog sitting and thinking, all these people are loving me so much, all these people are carrying me so much. I think they all are God. And the next slide, a cat comes and says the same dialogue. All these people are loving me, all these people are carrying me. Maybe I am the God. We can't
Yeah.
expect the child to be, a puppy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's very like thoughtful, and it's kind of it hits the nail. Like it's pretty much exactly what the problem is. But do you see through your work that people realize this problem? Like because you talk to a lot of people, a lot of married couples and stuff. Do you see them understand this problem, or do you see them like okay, they listen to it, but then they don't understand it?
I see three types of people. There are few people, those who are very clear about this entire psychology, and they treat their children as children, and they behave as they are, elders. But they are very, very less in number, and all the relatives and friends target them as conservatives or idiots, or old people, obsolete system, traditional people, blah blah.
Mm.
The another category of people, those who realize this, but in front of their child they become slaves. They can't execute it, but they realize it. So every step they say, this is not the way how to treat the child, and when the child demands, they will go and stand in front. So they are helpless. And the third category people, they realize in the later stage. Definitely every parent will realize, but they realize in the later stage, and later stage when they realize, there is no use,
Mm.
because by that time the child will take over them, literally
Mm.
take over.
Mm.
That is when the children talk bad about their parents of the house.
Mm.
Today, when I interact with the youngsters, particularly the youngsters from metropolitan cities, I don't want to blame the location, because
Mm.
GPS has nothing to do with the reality. But when the location is also connected with money and freedom, there are some majority wise it works, but I
Mm.
don't want to generalize. But yes, definitely,
Mm.
when there is more money and when there is less time with children, then such children will not value what they get so easily,
Mm.
and they backtalk on their parents, they call words on their parents, so many things happen.
And what is your take on these youngsters? Like some of my friends and people I know have kids who have these, they want to like eating. So when they have to eat and they are fussy about what they're eating, and parents put an iPad in front of them, or they put on the TV or the mobile phone and they look at the cartoon or whatever, and then they eat. So it's pretty much like bringing the kids into the exposing them to all the technology that we have, especially, all the gadgets and everything, and everybody has this little kids iPad, kids Kindle, kids stuff as well. So what's your take on technology with the kids?
I have no issues with the technology. I use technology lavishly. I
Mm.
value technology. I value
Mm.
even artificial intelligence or
Mm.
machine learning. The problem is not at all with technology. You can't blame someone who is not having brain, right? You can't blame a technology. So
Yeah.
technology is not the problem. Blaming technology is like the fox who told the grapes are sour, because the
Yeah.
fox don't want to accept that I can't jump,
I got, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't want to be a fox. Definitely, technology is nothing to do with the problems in the society. It's like a knife. If
Yeah.
it's in the hands of a doctor, it can save a person. If it is in the hands of a thief, it can kill a person, right? So technology is nowhere to be questioned at all. The problem is with the people, those who get married. They don't know why they got married. They don't know why they produce. They don't know how to produce. How to bring up children, and also yes, they don't know how to produce. My acharya told very clearly when I was in third standard in my Gurukul, third year. I mean, I was 18 years old then, and there was some news in the article on some rapist, and my acharya was scolding the rapist's parents, and I didn't get it. You can't blame someone whom you don't know. You know the rapist. How can you blame the other person? Then my Acharya told, the vasana and the mindset of the parents during the intercourse produce such kind of a children. The child is the condensed energy of the mindset of the parents and the relationship of the parents. And this was shocking for me. This was eye opener for me, right? Because I was 19-year-old, I had no idea about all these things. So yes, definitely the problems are not with the technology. The problem is with the parents. They don't know why to bring up the child and for what to bring up the child. For them, fourth standard, fifth standard, sixth standard, 10th standard, 11th standard. Thank God the schooling system is there. If the schooling system is not there in the world, there will be so many stupid things happening around because they don't know what to do with the children.
Yeah.
Bring, feed, do anything you want.
Yeah.
There is no system, there is no design. Though we had everything in past, unfortunately we lost everything today.
Yeah. Do you see, now this is a question that I ask most of my guests, like, do you see us moving back into the past? Because with the work that people like you are doing, the work you are doing, the work other scholars are doing, I do feel that we need to get back into the, into our systems, because we had all the systems in place. Do you see that happening? Or maybe I'm just wishful thinking on my part.
I don't say we are moving back, we are
No?
moving forward, but we are using the 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 results of the past.
Mm.
I think in everybody's graph it goes up and down, right?
Mm. Mm.
Right. So when the up down happens and when the up happens, you can't say that oh, we are going back. No, we are going even more higher this time.
Mm.
The graph comes
Yeah,
and when
yeah,
it climbs,
yeah.
this height is far better than the previous one. So
Yeah.
we can't say that since we are climbing, we are going to replay the same. No, we are going to reach much more higher than the previous time. And why do I tell this? Very simple. 4 yugas are there, and Satya Yuga is the best, and the Kali Yuga is the worst. Satya, Treta, Krita, and
Yeah.
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga, yeah.
Now, the 4 yugas repeat again and again. It's a Yuga Chakra. So
Yeah.
therefore, after Kali Yuga comes the Satya Yuga. Now, to create Satya Yuga, what kind of effort is needed? What kind of a transformation is needed? It is a downfall. So Satya is best, and there comes the downfall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means it can't be a big jump, right? So therefore, the circle is different. So the most beautiful life of all the 4 is the 4th, because this is where the biggest things happen in a very short time.
Yes, yes.
A transformation of Kali to Satya is going to happen in such a short period. Then what kind of a fusion will happen? What kind of a transformation will happen? And for that, what kind of influence and impact should be created? So I think we are going to have more beauty. We are going to blend the technology and we are going to blend the human effort. And today, the possibility of influencing is much more greater than before.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Krishna's time, Krishna's reach was completely different. Rama's time, Rama's reach was completely different. But today, a 10th standard student's Instagram page got 3 million, likes.
Yeah.
And that kid in 9th standard can do miracles to reach out anybody in less than seconds.
Yes. Yes.
So I think we are using the past to climb much more higher.
Yeah, but do you also feel this, that the people who are kind of getting the stage, who are getting the stage today in this Kali Yoga that we are in, are not the right people, the people who should be getting the stage? Or do you see that change the dynamic? Because we are still going to go, there's a lot of more years to us in the Kali Yoga. Do you see us changing that? Because right now it feels like the ones who are on the stage are not the people who deserve the stage.
Stage, you mean politics or
whatever stage, like world stage? Look at the political leaders, and a majority of the followers, even on Instagram, the influencers we have, the kind of content we have.
Obviously, there's no question about it, right?
Yeah.
There is no debate. It's a unanimous answer. But I am very happy to see this recent Olympics. Few clips, they're amazing. The concern, the care, the love, the compassion which they show. Not even, not just one. There are more than 3-4 incidents happened recently in this Olympics where they literally showcased. So I think
Yes.
because these worst people come, we are going to get more beautiful, right? Manmohan Singh is the best example. So I was there when I was having Manmohan Singh. I was thinking, oh God, where are we living in? How
Yeah.
can a big transformation happen in small time? But thanks to Manmohan Singh, because of Manmohan Singh, today we have Narendra Modi. That's what I feel. So
Yeah.
obviously, after a big darkness comes an
The
amazing
bigger
dawn of light.
light. Yeah. Well, that's reassuring. It's very comforting for me because I always feel like we're going down. The only thing that I don't want is like, and this is fearful for me. The minute somebody said, the boat is turned, now we're going to face the sun. I feel so happy, and then I'm like, I don't want the boat to return. I'm liking this space. I don't want it to go back into that dark age anymore. But that's very comforting to hear it from you. So let's. I think we're pretty much running out of time. But let me ask you about the Neo Grihastha model that you have created. What is this model, and how does it work?
So this is my dream project for more than 15 years. Talking about different things and doing it everything in our own level is completely different, but using the technology and using the design and the structured learning platform and reaching out to a larger audience in lesser time and influencing so many people is something which fascinates me a lot for more than 5-6 years now. And it's all connecting the dots. And today I have launched a program called a Neo Grihastha model, where it's a pre-planned program, it's a pre-recorded program. It's of 55 videos put together. A person can complete it in 12 to 13 hours in one stitch, max 7 to 10 days, with spending 1 hour a day or something like that. So 1.5 hours a day, a person can complete this entire course. This course is designed exclusively for the people those who are about to get married within 1 or 2 years, and the people those who got married recently.
Mm.
So these are the people for whom this course is designed. This course is of 6 courses bundle. So the first segment is Indian marriage basics. So why exactly marriage is designed in the first place? What is family system? Why do a person should marry? Today there are so many questions in youngsters. Should I marry? Should I need to marry or not? When there is a beautiful place of a living together relationship. What is the point in marriage? So why do we need to marry? What are all the things happens if you marry? And what are all the changes happens in different dimensions because of marriage? All those things are discussed in the first program. That's the first one. The second one is self-exploring mechanism. So always people think marriage is about your partner, marriage is about family, but the first thing is you, because you are the one who is going to face and experience and interpret and interfere in different things. Therefore, only when you understand yourself, you can understand the problems in and around you. So self-exploring mechanism focuses on a person individually, and this is not self-mastery program or spiritual journey. This is about a family man's perspective. What and all a family man should understand from his perspective or her perspective as a person. So there are 13 methods mentioned, including addiction, habits, hobbies, likes, dislikes, past relationship if it is there, different dimensions, and all these things a person should understand. And it's all discussed, and all the programs are discussed based on 3 dimension. Concepts were explained, mindsets were told what kind of mindset a person should have, and third one is action plan. So what to be done? Otherwise, there is no point of hearing so many satsangs. So what to be done, how to do, where to do, when to do, all those things are also explained. The third segment is partner intimacy program. People always think the partner is should be like my mother or my father or my that friend's partner or this friend's partner or that friend. We have our own prejudice. We don't give space for our partner, where the partner lived in her own world or his own world for 28-29 years and suddenly jumping in and sharing the bed. So we can't expect based on our prejudice or expectations, right? So how to understand a partner? What are all the things we need to consider when we try to understand a partner? And what is the journey of understanding? What are all the process to be done? And more importantly, the world of kama, the lust. And people have so many misunderstanding. I have a very detailed discussion on it with the 3 parts of what is the philosophy of kama and Indian perspective, the ugliest the modern approach, what they try to achieve through kama, or what do they visualize and expect through the world of kama, and what all the issues creates based on their um, you know uh, problems, what they do
Problems.
today, how it can consequence, how it can create problems in the future. All these things are in the third one. Fourth one is integral family system. It's about a family in large. The Indian families are completely unique, whether you call it a Muslim or Hindu or Jain, any family you call it. If it is under Indian design, then the family system has a system. The hierarchy system, it can be the freedom concept, it can be the love and interference, it can be the innocence, it can be. It's a very unique design of Indian family system. So why we have all those designs? Should we follow the design in our family when they get married? Should they imbibe these qualities or not? Why in the first place it is there? How it is influential in the longer run? And what is the issues faced by mother-in-law and daughter-in-law? Normally they say all these things, right? So why exactly it comes in the first place? And one more dimension which people don't realize is father and son who gets married. There is again dynamics happens between them, and when the parents, the elders, when they get into 45 or 50, 55 plus in their second phase, they feel insecure of their life. They feel the purpose of life into a very big question mark, because they are going to live for 20, 30 years and there is no dependency on them, and there is a possibility in the future they become dependent on somebody else. So there is a very big blur area where nobody addresses this, and because of which they create a very big different dynamics with their children when they get married. And all these things are addressed with the two families, in-laws and families, and what are all the relationship to maintain, relatives for children in the future, for them in the future. So many dynamics are explained with the three concepts: concept, mindset, and action plan. Then comes the fifth one: work-life balance. So today, most of us are working, and husband is working, wife is working, and why we work, very few people know. Both blame their job and both hate their job, but both work day and night. And they blame and they open the laptop and they work. They don't shout at the boss, they shout at the partner. Child is the question. They don't know what to do with the child. They postpone the child, saying that for the child we want money. And once the child is there and when the money is there, they don't have time. So money, time, child, health, stress, work, entrepreneurship and employeship, housewife dynamics, all these things are explained in work-life balance. And the last one is my favorite: next gen inviting formula. So next generation inviting formula. Today the children are getting birth as a byproduct of lust, or accidentally the children are getting, oh, you are pregnant, oh, I am a father. So they themselves have no idea why they became father or how they became father. So that is how the life is today, and that is so sad, because when the child comes to know that I am an uninvited guest in the house, it creates a second thought, right? Am I worth it? Am I invited? Am I valued? Right? So there is a possibility that you can imbibe the qualities of your child and you can invite such a child. And what are all preparations a family couple should do, what are all changes should happen in the family, why in the first place we need child, how a child can change the entire dynamics of the family, how a child can bring so many things into life, how child can transform husband and wife's lust to love. The transformation happens because of child. How child can bring all the family members closer, how child can bring hope and purpose and life to the family. So many other dynamics, why adoption can be done or not can be done, adoption. And then should we have child when there are so many of people around the world, people come up with so many weird thoughts. They don't stop smoking, they don't stop using electric petrol vehicles, but they think of cutting a child out, but they don't stop indulging in lust. It's all oxymoron, but nobody try to shoot the right arrow. So all these things are discussed in the next gen inviting formula. So put together all these 6 courses are there. So this is called
the Neo-Gresta model. It seems like a very interesting model. And if someone wants to register for this module, or like how do people get hold of this?
Yes. So for all I'm sure the world is so big, and I would like to give an exclusive offer for all your viewers, whoever sees this video. So I'll give you 60% of offer for this course, so that anybody who follows this video, and through this video if anybody comes up, then they'll get 60% off, and they'll get this course for the fee 5,999.
Oh,
so
wow.
Lifetime access, and also they will get all future courses updates also they will get. There are a few more courses planned in the future. like yoga psychology based anger management, Chanakya based home finance management. There are many other programs in the pipeline. So they will
That's
get access to
beautiful.
all other courses also, and one-to-one session is there, and then there is a community, private community. We need to build a community,
Yes.
like-minded, holistic approach. A family responsible family should
Yeah.
come together and they should grow together.
Yeah.
So these are all there in the
That
pipeline.
sounds beautiful, and thank you. So, if you're watching this video at any given point in time, you know where to look for. I'm going to link up everything. I'm going to put his website and link it up. So, just find him and just follow this, because it seems like very fascinating and interesting. Now, let me ask you this question quickly. So, this model is pretty much based on the Indian family system. So, do you see yourself replicate this for other across the world, across the globe? Because there are different family systems that we have. So, do you see yourself going global
Yes.
with this?
Yes, definitely. Because we right now in India, we don't have any Indian model.
Yeah,
We are living completely separately, right? So there is
yeah,
nowhere we are following any Indian design. From the 10th standard, children are moving away and staying in hostel and studying, and therefore they never come back. They work, 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 and they stay away. They stay in different place. So we are nowhere different from the globe. I kept the first course name as Indian Family Design to because I created this foundation based on Indian
yes,
system. So that is
yes.
why I named as Indian Marriage Basics. But that doesn't mean that it is exclusively for Indian audience. It is for the global audience.
For the global audience, yeah, because a lot of this kind of especially the next generation, the last chapter that you spoke about, the last module with addictions, it's a bigger problem. It's like a massive
Yes.
problem in the West with addictions, and it's just like the pleasure for like 5-10 minutes, or whatever, and then it just goes away, and then you're back and thinking, what do I do? So it's I think it's a very nice tool to have, to know what to control, how to control, and how to go about things. Look, we have already come to the end of an hour, and it was amazing, fascinating chatting to you. I think I've got millions of questions, but I want to really ask you about Mile, about this beautiful group that you have. If you could tell us a bit more about Mile and how did it come about?
Um, it's been there in my mind for so long, but recently within 1.5 years, when I was interacting with so many of my own students, I was teaching since 2009, and many of my students are married and they are now family men, right? So when I was talking to them and when they come up with different problems, I felt I initially thought I will do this project after I reach 40, 45, so that I will gain more personal experience and I'll have something to say, because the world is so big. Still I remember that first day cry of my marriage, first month cry. So I want to be realistic too. Yes, definitely with the 10 years of experience in marriage is nothing with the world ahead, but still
Yeah.
after seeing the problems I felt let's not wait, let's do it whatever we thought of doing. And I'm sure that this journey is just the beginning.
Yes.
There are much more
Yes.
to give, and the world is also evolving so fast. And if I stay for 60, I'm not sure whether when I reach 60 we will have family in country or not,
Mm.
because today people are talking about prenatal agreement.
Mm.
And right, so people do agreement before marriage. If divorce happens, who will take what property? So that agreement they do before marriage. So the very thought of marriage goes off the head when such an agreement is signed. When I signed such an agreement before my marriage, I doubt you.
Yes.
So
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah. It's
can I
pretty much,
be with
yeah.
that partner
Yeah.
for life?
There's a big question
And
mark on trust. Trust is kind of something that's really
yeah,
getting
yes,
down, and it's finding it's very difficult to find that trust. Like,
true,
who do you trust? And
definitely.
it's a big
The
question.
shortest divorce happened in India is 12th minute. In 12th minute, they applied for divorce. They thought, they are not made for each other.
Yeah.
And when they think, the approach is completely different. Today, the marriage is like this cup, pen and cap. It is like trying it out, which cap fits. The click sound came. Now you are my partner. But after 1 month, the click sound doesn't come. And then they search for another cap. No, the problem is not with this. You need to tie it yourself. And then the click sound will come. So unfortunately, we are living in a world where people don't address the biggest problem. For an IIT in engineering college, they train for 6 years, 5 years training. For teaching LKG students, they take 1 year of BEd education to teach an LKG ABCD. But for life together, I'm living with a partner where nobody teaches me what to live, how to live, why to live, how to face the problem, and everybody are helpless, so nobody can help anybody, right? So at the end of the day, everybody walks around and see different people and experiment.
Yes. Yes,
That's very
it's
unfortunate.
it
So
is, and it touches my heart, because you said the right thing. Like, what to do? Like, what am I supposed to do, right? Because here you have another person is a partner. You don't know what to do. You know yourself. You don't know this other person. What to do? It's like really a very big question mark, and then you kind of
and
start.
Tapashri, I'll tell you one thing. Whenever I hear a marriage joke, I feel so bad,
Yeah.
because someone out there is in pain. Out of
Yes.
pain, that marriage joke
Yes.
came, right?
Yeah.
And more unfortunate is when the marriage joke is shared, all the married people agree, laugh
Yes.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they identify.
That's so
It's like, oh,
sad.
I identify myself with this problem, and most of them are with the woman. Like, the woman is like kind of, even
Yeah,
with man, but mostly with the woman. Like, the woman is this, I don't know, this main villain in the thing, and I need to
yeah,
take her permission. I can't do it, but I'm pretty sure the woman is also a human being, and she also has
true,
her own, things, and
very
probably is
true,
as
very true,
confused as everybdo else. Like, I don't know what to
true,
do.
true, true.
Um, so that's where
Unfortunately,
we
yes.
are.
And
It is.
the biggest target is woman. That's the most
Yes.
unfortunate thing. And
Yes.
helpless.
Yes. Especially with
And
this
the
mother-in-law,
problem.
daughter-in-law relationships. The mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, it's like the
True, true,
worst
true.
spoken. We have TV series on these, we have like films on these, we have, so many things on this relation. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, the unfortunate thing is when the problem happens in their life, that moment they won't laugh.
Yes.
That moment
Yes.
they'll be in the peak of anger and peak of stress.
Yes.
And if they would have laughed then and there also, I'll be the most happiest person.
Yeah.
You laugh outside and you laugh inside. Yo.
Yes. Yes.
They can't
Yes.
do it.
But what you're saying is very difficult. Hardly anybody does it. Like, the understanding of who you are, and then projecting it, like the outer projections being that ownership is also a bigger problem for many people. So that brings me to this question, which we are all about. We're all about individuals and their journeys, and how they become role models for the society, and how your story connects and fits in with everybody's. So what is your personal, if you like, method, or what is it that you do? Because there is there's a wider range of work that you do for the society, for the people, but then what is your own personal practice that you indulge in? Is there some sort of a meditation, some sort of a routine that you follow to stay neutral? Because the work that you do is very intense, and it can drag you into many directions. So what is it that you do to stay this grounded and this neutral?
The mission which I told is my physical mission with the time scale, but my life's goal is completely different. I have a deep thought on this. I had so many thoughts in my mind. What should be my purpose of life? There are two things, right? Goals in life and goal of life. So
Yes.
goal of life should be one
Yes.
which should not be achieved, which should be achieved till the last breath of life, so that even in the deathbed I will have something to try for.
Yes.
And the goals in life is milestones. You pass
Yes.
on and
Yes.
you win and you go for next. So I was thinking about goals in life then, and once I understood there is a goal of life which I need to think of, which I can which can give me that kick even when I am about to die in next minute. So when I was thinking about what should I do, yoga, meditation, service, then at last I got a thought. I'm not sure whether it is worthy to climb or not, but my deep desire is to live every minute consciously, every minute usefully. So if I can live, not minute, every second, and if that every second I make myself conscious that consciously I am present, consciously I am speaking, then I have achieved my life. So this is my effort, and I forget things very much, and I have just made a tattoo on it.
What is
So
that numbers? Is that ones and zeros?
yeah, so
Does that
so
mean
it's a
something?
mirror image, so you can
Ah,
see the ulta. So it is like a time bomb, right? So it comes down, and after it reaches 1 0 and 0 0, it blasts. So I want to remind myself this body is like a bomb, and the countdown is just in point 1. So anytime it can come to 0 and you may leave the body. So make sure that if this is the last second, then how you will live. If this is the last second, will you postpone? If this is the last second, will you compromise? So
Wow,
I this is a
that's
goal. Okay, so
fascinating.
I'm
That's
nowhere nearby.
fascinating.
It's way ahead,
No.
but
Yeah, but even
this
to
is what
have
I want to
something like
hold on.
that, it's like amazing. Is that a permanent tattoo that you've done?
Yes, permanent tattoo.
Wow. I mean,
I
amazing.
visited Kal Bhairav, Ujjain, Kal Bhairav. We have a god of time, right?
Yes.
So I was so inspired by the concept of time. Even when I was teaching in college, the time was something which is fascinating because I think time is the only thing which doesn't come back. Everything comes back through memory. We can get everything back as if it is real, but time is something which is the most beautiful and the most mysterious thing. So I thought I should work on something which is not possible.
Well, that's fascinating. I mean, look, I mean, you're a fascinating individual. This has been an incredible chat, and there's so much to learn. And thank you so much for sharing. It's been an hour. And your last thoughts on being on, on this session with us. What are your last thoughts? And after that, I would let you go happily.
No last that.
No last
I'm happy.
thoughts.
I'm
Yeah.
very happy to meet you. It's a nice interaction, and I want to reach to 1 lakh people. I just contacted you just to reach so many people. I'm ready to use any possibility, any person in any way, so that I can
Achieve
reach
your,
people.
yes.
I am a teacher. I am not a businessman. I'm not a marketing guy. So I am completely confused with this world because there is a problem, and I have tried something out of something as a solution with my own knowledge and experience and teachers and scriptures. So I want to reach out to people in one way or the other. That's my
Let's
only
see what we
priority.
can do. We'll do our best to sort of, help you reach your
Wonderful.
target. And if we can contribute in any which way, we'll be more than happy. And this will be like an amazing thing for us as well
You're
to
doing
achieve.
amazing
So
work. I wish you all the best for reaching as many people as possible and reach to a global audience in very soon.
thank you so much. Same. It's the same thing. We're in the same boat. So I think our journeys are going to be exactly parallel to each other. So thank you very much, Shankar, for your
Thank
time
you.
today. Thank you.
Thank you.